On the broadcast tonight, all the top details from President Patterson's most recent President's Hour.
And find out what you need to know about the university's upcoming job fair.
All that and more right now on SUTV News. Good evening, welcome back to another edition of SUTV News. I'm JD DeRazio.
And I'm Haley Galaskis.
The Career Center held their spring job and internship fair just a few hours ago. Over 160 employers attended, offering students jobs, internships, and interviewing experience. The job fair is guaranteed to have employers that will interest you, spanning from jobs on campus, police work in Delaware, or the entire evolving group of North America. The Career Center hosts Career Week leading up to the job and internship fair, offering workshops, resume reviews, and a professional dress closet. For those of you that may have missed this semester's job fair, be on the lookout during the fall semester or visit the Career Center located on the first floor of the Cup. On Tuesday, many students took the opportunity to go to the President's Hour, which was held in the Noggle Hall NPR. Many important topics were discussed, such as the search for a new provost, vice president of academic affairs, as well as new construction on campus. Schimberg University went on a national search to find candidates for our next provost. There have been more than 80 applicants for the position, but has been narrowed down to only 3 finalists. Finalists are Daryl Noonan from Winona State University, Janet Simon Schreck from Johns Hopkins University, and Gary Ligori from the University of West Florida. There have been concerns to the new construction on campus, including whether or not the memorial should have the potential to be destroyed. On behalf of the panel, they apologize for the lack of communication regarding trees being taken down in front of the School of Engineering. For future construction projects, Schimberg University will be more cautious of preserving many of our memorials here on campus.
Intramural basketball season is over and champions have been crowned. The ball handlers took the title in the Women's League Monday night, followed by TSM Bloom winning the Co-Ed Rec League and 3 balls deep taking over the Co-Ed Competition League on Wednesday. The last 2 intramural sports, kickball and flag football, are set to kick off next week. Getting out and asking questions. It's time for this week's Ship Talk. This week, we ask SHIP students what their biggest pet peeve is. Let's go to Evan Pahusky and Emily Hall to see what grinds SHIP students' gears.
Hi everybody, today me and Emily, which we label as E squared, are asking Shippensburg students what their biggest pet peeve is. Emily, what's your biggest pet peeve?
You.
Don't say that.
Okay, so my biggest pet peeve is giving advice for someone and they don't follow it.
My biggest pet peeve is when people are talking while they chewing, and like you can just see the food when they talking and they get smacking and all that. That's a ill to me.
So my biggest pet peeve is feet. I don't like people to put their feet on me. Do not touch me with your feet. I get very cringe.
My biggest pet peeve is to get my feelings hurt. Yeah, you know, that hurts.
My biggest pet peeve is people lying for absolutely no reason.
Yeah,
why are you lying? What's wrong with you? Are you okay?
My biggest pet peeve is not being treated equally because it's the color of my skin.
I think my biggest pet peeve is when people poke me. I don't like being poked on my shoulder. Yeah.
My biggest pet peeve is slow drivers or when you get cut off.
My biggest pet peeve is when people chew with their mouth open, when people don't wash their hands, and slow walkers.
My biggest pet peeve is when people clear their throats like constantly in class.
My biggest pet peeve is when people are tapping their pens and markers in class.
My biggest pet peeve is when people are talking and other people cut them off, when people are trying to talk and they got food in their mouth. Another one, when people want you to be empathetic and sympathetic of their emotions and feelings, but they're not that way towards you.
Well, those were some great responses. You see, my biggest pet peeve is when people don't appreciate me as much as I appreciate them. Like, let's say my co-anchor, I'm not going to say any names, says in my video that I am her pet peeve. That really makes me mad. But anyway, That was all for this week's Ship Talk, and now back to JD and Haley at the desk.
So we heard from the students, Haley, but now I have to ask you, what is your biggest pet peeve?
You know, I think one girl said it best on there, slow walkers.
That's what I'm saying, slow walkers. It doesn't matter if I'm in a rush or not, I got places to be 24/7, 365.
I am full speed ahead at all times. If you can't get with that, you gotta get in the other lane.
In addition to the pet peeves, our full coverage of mocktails is also available on our YouTube channel, but coming up after this short break, we'll also have our coverage of the most recent Russian missile attack in Ukraine.
Stay tuned.
Are you failing a class or don't know what you're doing? You're in luck. Shippensburg Primary Academic Resource Center is free to all SHIP students. The Student Success Center, also known as the Learning Center, is located on the first floor of Mowry Hall. The center provides a variety of services, including course-based tutoring, writing tutoring, and learning specialists. To schedule an in-person or Zoom appointment, visit the Student Success Center collaborative website, ship.campus.eab.com. I'm Will Nicholson with SUTV.
Are you having a hard time focusing on your work? Why not check out the Ezra Lehman Memorial Library? The library has many resources like the IT desk on the main floor. For computer assistance, see the experts. Need to print in black and white or color? Don't worry, the library offers both options on different floors. You can use the bottom floor for group work and the top floor for when you need silence. Don't forget to stop by Starbucks. Check out library.ship.edu for more information. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
What's going on around the globe this week?
Let's check in with Evan Pahusky, who has this week's world news.
At least 18 people were injured, including 5 children, in a Russian missile attack on the city of Dnipro in eastern Ukraine, according to regional authorities on Tuesday. The injured children range in age from 14 to 17, according to the head of Ukraine's Dnipro Regional Military Administration, Serhiy Lysak, in a Telegram post. He added that the children were provided with medical assistance. A total of 12 people, including the 5 children, have been hospitalized, he said. Video of the aftermath of the attack shows damage to multiple buildings in the area, many with the glass blown out of the windows. Lysak noted that an educational institution was damaged in the attack, but students there were safe given they were hiding in a bomb shelter. I thank the teachers for their work, and I ask you once again, always follow the safety rules. It saves lives, he added. Ukrainian President Zelensky said in his daily address on Tuesday that the attack in Dnipro damaged the college and the kindergarten. He also said it is important for Ukraine to retaliate against Russian attacks with more far-reaching responses. A massive 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck Taiwan Wednesday, killing 9 and injuring over 1,000. It is the strongest recorded earthquake in the country in 25 years. Initial seismic activity took place approximately 11 miles off the coast of Hualien County, causing violent aftershocks. Since it originated in the ocean, several tsunami warnings were triggered, but eventually waved off. As a result, collapsed buildings and several landslides occurred, leaving 143 people trapped under debris, especially in rock quarries. The aftermath of the quake is said to bring massive economic pushbacks, as the country of Taiwan is one of the leading producers of computer chips. There have yet to be more updates on the life and economic impacts of the country. The Biden administration is pushing back against claims that it was involved in a presumed Israeli strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus, Syria. In the meantime, the Pentagon says the U.S. has assessed that Israel carried out the airstrike on the Iranian consulate, but Israel has not confirmed if it was behind the attack. 2 years ago, Utah lost millions of birds to a deadly avian flu outbreak that was spread by wild birds. Currently, outbreaks of the flu have spread to dairy cattle in Texas, Idaho, Kansas, Michigan, and New Mexico. The Utah Department of Agriculture and Food is trying to keep its local cows safe from infection by having stricter importation rules to keep milk production consistent. Fortunately, unlike birds, cows can recover from the infection, and experts say this hopefully won't impact milk prices in grocery stores much. The deadly collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore is having a ripple effect in Washington. Rebuilding it and getting the critical port of Baltimore back open will require an enormous effort and additional federal funding, but some members of Congress are already pushing back against paying for the long road to recovery. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook takes a closer look at the funding fight.
Crews at at the site of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore are making progress as they work to remove a portion of the wreckage. A massive cargo vessel slammed into the bridge last Tuesday, killing 6 construction workers. President Joe Biden pledged the full support of the federal government in the response and recovery efforts shortly after the collapse.
This administration will be with the people of Baltimore every step of the way. We are with you, Baltimore, and we will be there until we get this done.
The U.S. Department of Transportation released $60 million to Maryland from an emergency relief fund last week, but the recovery will cost much more. The White House may need Congress to act, and some Republicans are already voicing their concerns.
You know, the first reaction, in fact, the only reaction just tends to be to spend.
I still have Florida farmers from a hurricane a year and a half ago that still aren't getting relief. So the federal government is a partner. The federal government needs to be a partner, but we need to stop playing politics, and that's exactly what the Biden administration has done.
Democratic lawmakers from Maryland are responding to the criticism.
If you go back to the time of the Minneapolis bridge collapse, Congress, within a very short period of time, overwhelmingly said the federal government should help. And so we believe that we should come together again as Americans, put aside, party labels and get it done.
President Joe Biden is scheduled to visit Baltimore on Friday to survey damage from the bridge collapse. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
I'm Evan Bahusky with World News. Let's go back to the desk with Haley and JD.
Coming up next, we have your 7-day forecast.
And in entertainment, we have the latest on Beyonce's newest album. Stay tuned after these messages.
The Cub 231 is home to Shippensburg University's Pride Center. The Pride Center offers consultation services to all students across all departments. With the goal of creating a more inclusive campus community, the Pride Center hosts a number of events. The Pride Center has a multitude of active initiatives like the Pride Library and the Gender-Free Clothing Closet to help create inclusivity on campus. If you can't make it in person to the Pride Center Monday through Friday, you can follow the Pride Center on social media to stay up to date on all upcoming events and initiatives.
Well, Haley, I'll tell you what, the common phrase is April showers bring May flowers. Well, those April showers are in full swing.
I don't even have an umbrella. I am just walking to class and on pure hopes and dreams.
I do know in Central PA, the umbrella stock has just gone crazy up. So I really hope Abby has some good news for us this week. So
Please.
Let's send her way. Here's Abby Hockenberry, who has this week's weather.
Thank you, JD and Haley. This part of the semester is when everything starts to move slower as it gets intense with finals getting closer and closer. So I was lucky when this week actually flew by for me. I cannot believe it is already April and we have 4 weeks of classes left. Anyways, tonight we will see some clouds pass and it will be a tad humid out because of all the rain that we've been getting lately, but we can continue to say goodbye to that rain because tomorrow is going to be mostly cloudy and the temperature is going to be on the colder side and only reaching the mid-40s. As we approach the weekend, on Saturday is the second senior art exhibit. In case you missed the first one, you still have a chance. Saturday is not much different than what Friday is going to be like, but then on Sunday, we're going to see some sunshine with some clouds during the day, and then at night, the low will be just below 40. The weather for that solar eclipse on Monday is looking great, just intervals of clouds and sunshine throughout the day, so hopefully those clouds do not cover up the sun during the eclipse in the afternoon. Speaking of which, if you are planning on watching the eclipse, remember to wear certified eclipse glasses and sunscreen for safety. The rest of the week is going to be very warm, with Tuesday actually reaching the 70s. We see the nights are going to be warmer as well, which will also mean it will be more humid. It might just be the time to start wearing shorts again if you haven't already. Thursday, we have nearly 50% chance of rain, and Friday is looking sunny and beautiful. So fingers crossed it's going to stay that way. I unfortunately will not be able to see the solar eclipse happen because I will be in class during that time, but maybe there is a chance that my professor wants to see it too and cancels class. But only one can hope. My fingers are crossed. But that is it with this week's weather. I am Abby Hockenberry. Now let's see what's new in entertainment from Emily Hall.
Conjoined twins Abby and Brittany Hensel are back in the spotlight. Everyone is talking about how Abby, 34, is married to U.S. Army veteran Josh Bowling. Some pictures of the couple, including from their happy day, are posted on the twins' TikTok. Although the news is just making headlines, the couple has been happily married for over 2 years. Abby is even stepmom to Bowling's 8-year-old daughter, Isabella Rose. The Hensel twins first appeared in the world on The Oprah Winfrey Show in 1996. Then again when they starred in the TLC reality series Abby and Brittany that ended after 1 season. They are now all living together happily in Minnesota, where the twins are currently teaching the 5th grade. Comedy legend Steve Martin's new documentary premiered on Apple TV Plus this week. The documentary Steve, (Martin), details the comedian's rise to success, stories from his shows, his days on Saturday Night Live, and his transition to a movie-based career. Martin also details his personal life, from his friendship with co-star John Candy, his 2 marriages, and becoming a father later in life. His documentary also held a premiere last Friday, where Martin was accompanied by his Only Murders in the Building's co-star, Selena Gomez. Gomez said in regards to the comedian that he's, quote, truly an icon and tried and never gave up. My dear friend, you are extraordinary. Beyoncé dropped her newest album, Cowboy Carter, only a week ago, and fans are already jumping on the bandwagon. The album added a twist to Beyoncé's usual music, as the album had a focus on country beats. She reported she wanted to incorporate dance into her album to lift her audience's spirit. Her goal has appeared to work as a surge of new dance trends on TikTok worked their way across the social media platform. Beyoncé explained how her album took almost 5 years to publish due to her waiting until fewer negative things were going on in the world. After 22 years, the Bachelor franchise announced the first American-Asian bachelorette. During the recent Bachelor finale, fans were told that Jen Tran would be the Bachelorette for season 21 of the show. She was earlier seen this year on Joey Grazadeh's season of The Bachelor, where she was loved by fans for showing her Vietnamese culture. The franchise has been dealing with backlash from fans who criticize the show for not showing cultural representation. Fans are saying this decision is a leap in the right direction. Many former members of the Bachelor franchise have shown their support for the young woman. The new season of The Bachelorette, starring Jen Tran, will premiere this July. Famous pop star Lizzo, known for hit songs like The Truth Hurts and Juice, has unexpectedly announced that she's quitting music, but later changed the narrative that she wants to get rid of all the negative energy. She said in a statement, quote, I'm getting tired of putting up with being dragged by everyone in my life and on the internet. Lizzo wrote, all I want is to make music and make people happy and help the world be a little better than how I found it, but I'm starting to feel like the world doesn't want me in it. Her announcement, following allegations of a toxic work environment that included sexual harassment, as mentioned in a lawsuit from her employees. Lizzo denied any allegations of wrongdoing in the work environment following large amounts of backlash. Her representative defines these allegations as, quote, bogus, absurd publicity stunt. I'm Emily Hall. Let's head back to JD and Haley at the desk.
The MLB season is back and is in full swing.
We'll have the latest in sports both on and off the campus after these messages.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008.
So
he really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Last weekend, Ship field athlete Josh Herbster set a new all-time PSAC record in the hammer throw. Impressively, Herbster broke his record twice in one day. On his fourth attempt, he threw for 207 feet 8 inches. He then unleashed a 210-foot 6-inch throw on his final attempt. This milestone does not only set all-time in the conference, but also ranks him 5th in the NCAA Division II list. Herbster also left the match with a new personal record in discus, increasing his best by more than 10 feet. This dominant performance secured Herbster the back-to-back PSAC Men's Outdoor Field Athlete of the Week. Ship lacrosse marks another win in an overtime battle against IUP last night. After allowing 8 goals in the first 12 minutes, the Raiders rallied back throughout the remainder of the game and let up only 7 goals. Sophomore Keegan Dings tallied for 4 goals, tying her career best, and set a new PR of 7 draw controls. Sophomore Allie Pioli ended the game with a season-best 4 points and 5 draw controls. The Raiders will travel to take on the number 5 East Stroudsburg University this Saturday at noon. The MLB season has begun, and there's a lot to talk about. With more is SUTV's Ben Willey.
Baseball is back and better than ever. Opening week for baseball has come and gone, and a lot has happened in the first week of baseball. The defending champs are still very, very good and looking to repeat their championship win. The New York Yankees started their campaign with a sweep of the Houston Astros. The Dodgers' expectation-riddled season started slower than expected, but still good nevertheless. Many more stories and feel-good moments happened and showed what makes baseball so special. As for the hometown Phillies, things haven't gone quite to plan just yet. The Phillies lost their first series against division rival Atlanta Braves. The MLB will continue as minor league kicks off this week. Reporting for SUTV News, I'm Ben Willey.
The Final Four for the men's and women's basketball tournaments have been decided. The women stole the show over the weekend with the highest viewed women's game of all time between LSU and Iowa. Iowa, South Carolina, NC State, and UConn were the last 4 teams remaining after the big games. The Final Four games for the women will take place tomorrow. As for the men's side, the big games took place on Easter, and all were close. Purdue, UConn, NC State, and Alabama came out on top and booked their ticket to Arizona for a Final Four matchup. Both the men's and women's tournaments have been exciting and have really showcased the beauty of college sports and the madness of March. Junior pitcher Alicia Ball gained her recognition from ranking 4th in the PSAC in ERA at 1.32, and for her 84 strikeouts that rank her 7th in the conference. Sophomore shortstop Caitlin Martell has also etched herself in the watch list with her 26 home runs, ranking her 4th in the conference, and her 6 home runs that rank her 5th in the PSAC. The list is broken into 8 NCAA regions with up to 15 athletes representing each. The NFCA's Division II All-American Committee will announce their winners on May 27th at the conclusion of the NCAA Division II National Championships. That's all for sports this week. I'm Jeremy Perna. Now let's throw it back to the desk.
Did you know that there's an upcoming solar eclipse?
We'll have all the details you need to know right after this.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb.
But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
I already knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science. After that, I'm going to get my law degree. Then I'm going to come back to Detroit, boost the economy, become the mayor or something, try to make the situation better for other people. I feel like I owe it to the city. I'm determined. It's going to happen. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
All right, so we're coming back in a live look at the campus right now as everything starts to get quiet. We see the sun hanging on for a few last moments before it goes away, but on Monday afternoon, we're going to be taking a little bit of an impromptu break. JD, aren't we?
Yeah, so on Monday we have some pretty special going on that Abby teased a little bit earlier. A solar eclipse will be looking to take place this Monday afternoon, and Shippensburg has everyone prepared on how to watch. The Office of Campus Life here at Shippensburg University will be hosting an eclipse watch party from 1 to 5 p.m. The watch party will take place at the Cub Amphitheater, where games and food will be provided. Special eclipse sunglasses will be provided for attendees for protection. In Central PA, viewers will see over 90% of coverage, as we will cover most of the sun's daylight. So Abby, you already told us you're not sure if you're going to be able to see. Haley, do you have any plans for the eclipse?
That's a great question. I'm actually not sure what time it is.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to partially see it at 2 o'clock, and then it'll be in full view by 3:15. But that day, it's going to be cloudy, so there's a chance that you might not be able to see it. It's like up in the air a little bit. But then over this weekend, we have clear views, and the weather's going to be pretty nice this weekend.
Yeah,
well, Abby,
we're going to hang out and see.
That's what I'd like to hear. But that's going to do it for tonight's episode of SUTV News. She's Abby Hoggenberry. I'm JD DeRazio.
And I'm Haley Galaskis. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and check out our website at sutvnews.org.
Thanks for watching. Good night.